Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Delta Green tabletop role-playing game rules by Arc Dream Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast will include mature themes and scenes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, military organizations, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or redacted, is completely coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your handler. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am your handler this evening, Michael Diamond. We are back with our O-Cell in parts of northern Montana, where they're looking to requisition some fun things to get this job complete. I look forward to them attempting and completing it as well, as I'm sure you do. So I want to thank you for listening and thank you for supporting the show in various ways that you do. You can do that on Patreon. You can do that by following us on YouTube or jumping over to the Twitch channel and following us there at twitch.tv/theoldwaystwitch. And now I'm going to introduce you to our crew. So to my right.
Hey, this is Miranda, and I play Dr. Aaron Weber, defamed chemist. And we made some new friends, and I don't think that could possibly have any negative consequence on their lives at all, I hope.
Yeah, I think that's the hope for everyone. And to Dr. Weber's right.
Hi, this is Nate. I play Special Agent Elliot Winters, analyst for the U.S. Department of State. My motto when making new friends is every new friend you make, you have killed as soon as you tell them the secret truths of why you are in their neighborhood. So enjoy the fun times while they last.
Well, that's a heck of a rule. We'll see how that plays out. To Agent Winters, right?
Hi, this is Allie, and I play Special Agent Joanne Hart. And I'm surprised that there wasn't a bigger reaction to the dog head last episode.
Well, I think Bear's seen some shit. We'll leave it at that. Last but most certainly not least.
Hi, my name's Tegan Gilbert, and I'm playing Brett Hawking, young buck. And I'm starting to feel like we're the most innocent people in this town.
Yeah, I think that remains to be seen, dependent upon how this operation plays out. So when we last left our agents, we were just wrapping up a conversation with some wonderful local folks. And afterwards, there was some talk about sort of how things move forward next. You know that Lynn is going to work tonight, and her plan is to try to abscond with any potential details about the interior workings of the plant that she could get down on paper, or any evidence she might be able to locate during her normal custodial duties. So is there anything that night that our agents want to accomplish or set in motion?
Do you guys just want to call this number on the business card tonight, or do you want to let our man sleep and do it in the morning?
No. I think we got to call. We got to get this moving.
I can call if you want.
It's like your specialty at this point.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think Winters should call, but I'm going to give you a sticky note that just says audio equipment. So it's my request. And cheese poofs.
Who called this feller last time? Who made this call that got that delivery vehicle, we'll call it?
I think I did, didn't I?
And this guy, what is this? Is this, what's his name? Drake?
Yes.
Drake. All right. I mean, I'll call if we don't want Weber to call. I mean, Weber's got a particular nature on the phone, shall we say? I wish I knew French right now, Weber. I'd have a phrase for it, but I don't know any French.
Are you trying to say I have a certain je ne sais quoi?
Exactly. You got that je ne sais quoi. Now ring him up. It's a rotary phone, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. If you're calling from the house, for sure. It's a beautiful sound. It's the sound of mechanics moving into motion for you.
Damn it, Brett, now I get it. You made me call because there's so many zeros and nines in this phone number.
The call is placed, and you can hear the ringing, relatively repetitive ringing from the somewhat crackly phone lines here at the house. After a moment, you hear it pick up, and you hear something you've heard before, Agent Winters. You have heard what it's like to be on the other end of this sort of capture and contain phone system. So when the line clicks a few times and the tone changes, you assume that it's going through some sort of call box and it's being routed somewhere. And then an elderly sounding man picks up the phone and he says, "Yes, Agent."
Hey, Drake, this is Agent Winters. We're up here in Montana. We got a little bit of a shopping list that we are interested in.
All right. I haven't done one of these in some time. So enlighten me, Agent. What is it that you need for your operational success?
You got the betterment of me. I ain't ever done it before at all in this, let's say, in this circumstance. So if I need to do something special, you just let me know. We're looking to get ears. We're looking for some audio tap equipment, maybe some bugs, maybe some phone line taps, that kind of stuff. It's a corporate industrial facility, maybe a research facility, and we want to have somewhat long range. We can't get that close to the place, so we'd like somewhat long range, maybe transmitted the information somewhere that we could pick it up remote. We ain't gonna have direct access to it more than once a day, and it's through a civilian, so we don't really want to put that person on the clock, so to say, of putting new equipment and grabbing it and bringing it back and new equipment, etc. It increases the likelihood of detection.
I agree. What I can supply you should get the job done. Are you going to... This number you're calling me from is somewhat of a secure...
It's a rental house of a local. It's not secure. It's not secure in the way that we would like it to be. But it is just us.
Is someone going to be by the phone? All right. Yes, good. Someone could be by the phone then.
Absolutely. Yeah, if we need to make sure that we're here to pick up, we will be here. We'd also throw in maybe a couple sets of night vision goggles. And I don't know, I feel like a single piece of long-range weaponry would be helpful with this endeavor as well.
Now we're getting interesting. High-powered rifle, scope, I assume?
Absolutely, sir.
So we can do this one of two ways. The location you're calling from, there isn't a green box for many, many miles. But I might be able to put in a requisition form, and it could go a couple of places. One place it might be able to go would be to nearby Air Force Base, Malmstrom Air Force Base. We have a friendly there who is rather well equipped. They could supply you with this and likely much more if necessary. What's the rough percentage chance of completion of this operation?
Well, that is an interesting question. I look over at Brett. Look at what Brett had. 120%. Is that right, Brett?
Yeah.
120%?
All right. I can tell this is your first time requisitioning in this manner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you what you need on this list. I'll call back on this line in no later than 30 minutes. I'll give you an address. You go to that address and wait for a package to arrive. Not like the package you've been given, of course. Once you're there, take the package, leave immediately, and then get back to the operation. Is that clear?
Crystal, sir. And on the topic of this operation, we were having a conversation earlier. There is a multinational involved in this. We don't know the extent. Theoretically, if, say, most of this operation is part of creating sort of these things that we got in this package here. Is anyone going to shed any tears if the whole place burns down or blows up or such? Just trying to get some parameters around the size of this operation.
Agent, you've been on a few operations already. I've had a chance to look through some reports. I think you understand what happens if things like this get into the wild. And you understand, given your background, that is a non-starter. Whatever has to be done, even if we have to go loud as a last resort. If you feel that's necessary, I can make a couple of recommendations. There is an FBI office in Salt Lake. Several agents could be potentially requisitioned from there. Not ours, but agents who are trained SWAT members. It's possible we could get the U.S. Marshals involved. That would give us a little bit of flexibility. But if you have to hammer the panic button, agent, do it. Malmstrom Air Force Base is the biggest chip we have to play, but you have got to come back with real actionable evidence for me to push that button. If that happens, maybe 100 soldiers, that's a real raid. And then you'd get the fuck out of there before it even happens.
Understood, sir.
I'll call you back. 30 minutes.
We'll be waiting.
The phone disconnects.
All right, good news and bad news, y'all. I guess the good news is if we have to, we can do some terrible damage to this facility. The entire facility. The bad news is if we have to, we would have to blow the entire thing up and involve a lot of external forces, other military, other friends, shall we say. I'm really, man, my fingers is going to be crossed. This is just some mad scientist shit with a couple people in a basement, because I really do not want to go down that path. I do not want to introduce a gigantic explosion up here in Montana on this Indian reservation. That'd be terrible for these people.
I don't really know what the chances of that are, though, Winters, with how they handled, at least how Lynn made it sound that they handled things, hushed everything up, quieted everything up.
I'm actually feeling good about that. If the entire facility, most of the facility, not the janitorial, but the entire facility is in on this, maybe they wouldn't have to gone to such measures because of this breach, transferring and rearranging everything up in there. Why would they do that if everyone was in on it? So I'm really hoping. But you know what they say about hope.
Is that the one with your hand?
Yeah, and you shit in the other. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, my mama taught me that one.
So you wait around?
We wait for a phone call. We wait by the phone.
You get a call back at roughly 30 minutes. I'd say it's pretty close to 30 minutes. The phone rings.
Weber, you want to do this one?
Okay, I can. I wasn't really listening to your last one, but...
I pick up the phone. Hello.
All right, Agent. I have everything that you're looking for. I need you to head due east. Great Falls, Montana. I have someone who's going to arrive and meet you just off of Highway 15 near a Salvation Army. You'll need to have a vehicle that can hold a box about 4 feet deep, 2 feet wide. It'll have a collection of surplus gear in it. It should cover everything you need. They'll be there in 2 hours. You need to be there in 2 hours.
Got it. We're on the case. Thank you, sir.
Happy to help. He hangs up.
All right. You think that rentals you got there will fit this thing? You said about 4x2?
Yeah, easy.
All right.
I'll grab the keys. Where are we going?
Great Falls, Montana. Due east.
Cool. Grab the keys and I'm going to head outside.
Okay. So who's going on the road trip?
I intend to go, if that's okay.
This feels like a bonding experience for all of us, honestly.
Are you bringing the dog head, Elliot?
Yeah, we have to keep eyes on that at all times.
Okay. The 4 of you pile in to Crown Vic, dog head included. You head 2 hours or so east, and just about 10 p.m. at night, You pull into the dimly lit parking lot of a Salvation Army surplus store. And you are watching the watch probably a little bit, Elliot, because you're concerned about getting there on time. It gets pretty close.
Don't worry, I'll speed.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot. 5 or 6 miles an hour over.
It's Montana. I mean, really, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
You pull into the parking lot, and there aren't really any other cars or trucks in the parking lot. Are you parking in front or back, or are you circling, or what are you doing?
If there's parking on the side where we can see both the front and the back, that's where I'd be parking. Turn off the lights, but have the engine idling.
You park along the side where there are some dumpsters, there's some dumpsters, and there are also some late night donation bins, also pretty common. And you chill there, lights off. No more than 3 or so minutes later, a car, early 70s El Camino, pulls in, brown. It's got little faded pinstripes down the side. It pulls in and it parks behind you near the dumpster.
I'll get out.
I was gonna say, I guess I'll get out of the car.
Nothing happens. I mean, you can stay in the car if you want, but it's good to know what you're doing. Both of you get out, and you see a man get out of the El Camino. Lights are off, so you are able to sort of make out his face. He's probably in his late 40s, early 50s. He has sort of a bowl cut style of brown hair. He's got a little bit of a larger nose, long sideburns. He's wearing a beat up leather jacket and some jeans. He sort of looks at the group of you, or the two of you, for a minute. He nods and walks back towards the bed of the El Camino.
I'll go and open the trunk.
Okay.
Towards the back and give the gentleman a hand.
It's there. There's a very long box. It's not super wide. Again, about 2 feet wide. And then it's considerably deep. You have probably seen boxes like these before, Elliot. Probably in your time in Mexico or in South America, you saw boxes like this. So it just brings back a wave of memories of chasing drug dealers and all sorts of stuff that you used to be involved with. He hoists one end of it and pushes it towards the back of the flatbed, so that way the both of you can carry it. There are handles. He picks up one, and as you pick up the other, he waits for you to walk forward, takes it towards the car.
We do the thing. We do the dance of the box move.
He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't say anything unless prompted. He's happy to help you get it into the trunk. It does have to go long rather than wide. And so one of the seats in the Crown Vic has to sort of be pulled back down. Luckily, it's a feature on the car. You don't have any issue doing that. It will make seating sort of interesting. Once done, he cleans his hands off. He looks at you, Elliot, and says, "Good luck." And he walks back to his El Camino and gets in.
Tip him a wave and get back in.
Are you just going to hold the dog head on your lap on the way back, Agent Winters?
I was holding it on the way in. I mean, why would I change?
Oh, that's fair. Then we're good to go. And I will turn the lights back on, and I will drive all the way back to where we came from.
Okay. You spend 2 hours with a box in the car that does change the smell of the car. It smells like things that some of you have smelled before. You can smell gunpowder. Some of you can smell hay, especially those of you who are allergic to it, or might have a slight hay fever allergy. And you also smell something maybe a little like a cleaning agent. Perhaps, yes, a little penetrating oil. Something there. 2 hours back, just now past midnight, you roll back into the reservation and then eventually to Bear's rental house.
If this is a brand new gun, I want to take the plastic off. I want to be the one that takes the plastic off.
You'd probably have to inspect the box after you bring it in, but I mean, there's something.
I would like to. I mean, you mentioned that it had aroma, so I would like to inspect the box.
Okay, so you guys are bringing the box in the house?
Brett gives it a good whiff, wafts, smells it like what's a person who sniffs wine?
Sommelier.
Yes, like a gun sommelier. Brett is.
Want to sniff the box? Bring it in here.
So you bring the box inside and set it down, probably on the same coffee table you had whiskey on earlier this evening. Although I don't know if any of you actually drank anything, because I didn't hear you drink any, so maybe you didn't.
Oh, I drank. He asked if we wanted to drink, and I said yes, so I assume I drank.
Oh, I did not drink.
So who's going to open the box?
Me.
There are several things sort of stacked very carefully. It's a pretty well packaged box. Whoever put it together was thoughtful. So on the top, there is a layer of packing material, hay, etc., and then also some other type of pack, not peanuts packing, because it's just terrible. No one would want to deal with that. Underneath that, there are a series of packages, small packages. They look no bigger than maybe a salad plate. And inside some of these packages, there are clearly wires and what look like small electronic devices. There's a cut sheet inside each one that sort of displays what they're used for, but the instructions are fairly brief, right? There's a box next to it, right? Something that looks like a miniature typewriter. Think of some of the first gen laptops, which were like super thick. Not the carrying ones, not the ones from the 80s, which are like carrying a word processor with you to work. Not that thick. But this box has a couple of different ports on it. One's a standard phone line port. And then there's also another port, which looks like it goes to a handset. That handset sits on top of this box. And there's a small sort of instructional sheet with this as well. Beneath that, you see two sets, right? So two distinct sets of Kevlar. So they're just vests, right? And it does look like the box also has the trauma plate inserts on either side. So you have two vests, which you could use in the event of needing to wear something which would give you some sort of protection from bullets, provided someone only shoots you directly in the chest, center mass. Beyond that, there is something that needs to be unwrapped from plastic. And there are also small boxes alongside of it that look like ammunition boxes. And then finishing out the rest of the box are what appear to be night vision goggles. So there's two pair of night vision goggles. There's something that has to be taken out of the wrapping as well. So Brett, if you seize upon it, then
Yeah, I seize it.
you begin to unwrap a rifle.
Carpe it. Yeah. What is it? What's the caliber?
Well, the model is Remington. It is a Remington Model 700. So it is a bolt action rifle.
Is it a 270?
No, it's a 308. So it fires a Winchester 308 round.
Okay. Let me take a look at this bullet. Oh, that's a nice bullet. That looks like it goes forward in a singular direction into an object, and then that object stops moving.
Yeah, I mean, Elliot, this is a sort of cartridge that you would be used to as far as the bullet itself. This is a standard hunting cartridge. Grizzly bears, brown bears, people.
Well, this is helpful because they gave us a rifle here that we can probably pick up ammunition from at the local hunting supply.
Yeah, that does seem to be one of the benefits. Does anyone have SIGINT at a reasonable? If you have SIGINT 50 or over, I can give you some information. If not, if you're inspecting the electronic stuff, you'll need to roll for it.
Someone has a 20%.
You're gonna have to lay the entirety of this operation at the feet of Dr. Aaron Weber's 20% in SIGINT. That's just how it goes.
Could I do some searching with my computer science on the nascent World Wide Web to try and provide Weber a few percentage points of bonus?
I will. What's your was it search? Yeah, what's your search?
My computer science is 70. My search is 70. My SIGINT is 0.
Weber picks this or goes over towards this box that has been delivered. And you notice something that is sitting out in the bottom of this 2x4 box, which is a manual. And you're like, hey, this has paperwork with it. Interesting.
And as a woman, I fucking love reading directions.
I see the manual and I ignore it and I don't tell anyone because fuck a manual.
You do find a manual for what this device is. It does seem to be basically like 4 pieces of paper that are sort of half sheet.
By manual, you mean some chunk of the anarchist cookbook stapled together in a high school by some delinquent sophomores.
Yes. Yes. Manual is doing a whole lot of work in that sentence.
I will be rolling now. Do I get a bonus for Winters finding the...
Winters is planning on helping you, right? And not just tossing the manual in the box and saying, good luck, Weber. Then you will get a plus 20 to the roll.
Okay.
No, I'll pull the manual out. Oh, Hart, check this out. Brett, what you trying to figure out what this is called? Maybe this has a name on it.
Oh, reading. I like reading. You mind if I do computer stuff sometimes for my job? Because, like, microscopes.
Sure, that's fine. I'll give you this manual because I personally find them emasculating.
Thank you. Roll an 82.
So even with the manual's help, you're really struggling to understand sort of the problem you're having, Doctor, is that you don't know which end to stick it in. Like there's one end of the cable that goes in the bottom, or is that the top? And then like, do you mean, am I facing it left or I'm facing it right? Which one am I doing? And so you get sort of lost in that and you're not sure how this is supposed to be hooked up. Plus, the manual doesn't have any pictures. It describes things that you don't see.
I'm sorry, guys. I think this might be more intense than what I'm usually used to setting up micrometers and stuff.
Well, you want me to get the coffee going? Because this is an all-nighter then. We gotta keep going on this. I can call Drake up. I'm sure he'd be pleased to hear from us so soon and see if you got any pointers too.
I'm happy to keep working on it. I can't make any guarantees.
Well, we have a hardline phone here that we can test it on. We have cell phones, so we could see which configuration works.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's not like we're setting up a bomb.
Yeah, it's not. This can't. Yep, I'll just keep on keeping on.
You can retry.
I won't admit defeat. I will have Winters put the coffee on. I will continue throughout the night plugging things into places and out of places and into other places and rereading things and having someone read it out loud to me so I can hear it instead of just reading because of that, like audio comprehension versus reading comprehension thing. And so we'll try it.
Okay.
There's 3 ways that people learn, Weber. And then, hey, Brett, I remember you was good with drugs and stuff. Do you have any, like, caffeine pills on you or some amphetamines or anything maybe that might help?
Do I have meth on me? I mean, I have caffeine pills. I don't have meth.
Amphetamines. I said I didn't say meth.
I rolled an 88.
Okay. So an 88 is a critical failure.
Shunned dice.
You try to connect this the way you think it's supposed to connect, and you hear the case crack. Everyone hears that.
I think it was supposed to make that noise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what that sounded like, Weber? That sounded like when I'm cranking on one of the spark plugs in my Ranger, and then it makes that noise. And you know what that means? It means another $2,800 on a new goddamn engine. Weber, I thought you knew this stuff.
I do know some of it, but I would say out of everything, I know about 20% of it. You want to take a try? Here you go. Here you go. Shove it, Winters. Here you go. Take a look. Here you go, buddy boy.
Oh no. Oh no. All this stuff this was never. We always called in a specialist whenever we had to do any of this nonsense. I'm a goddamn people person, Weber. You know that.
So am I.
So the effect of the critical failure means that you won't be able to retry anymore, Weber.
Maybe we should need to recalibrate our plan.
All right, let's get an inventory.
Are there any explosives in this box?
No.
We didn't ask for explosives.
You didn't even ask for the Kevlar vest, but someone thought that it might be a good idea.
That's really sweet of them.
I suppose, winners, you could, I suppose, make a roll based on computer, but this is the caveat. The caveat is you'll be at a penalty because it's now damaged, and it predates computer, so you're going to take a fairly heavy penalty. So I'll say the skill penalty is like 20%.
I could take a look at this. I know a lot about digital systems and computer systems, which this is not in any way, shape, or form. I could take. Is anyone got any other ideas on this? I'm worried if I take a poke at it, I'm just going to continue Weber's good work here, and it's just going to be in 16 pieces by the end of it. Oh, Brett, did you do that military science officer thing?
Wait. I would like to make a case here. I am a skilled electric bass player, which means I know how to use an amp and some sound equipment. I would like to attempt to roll bass playing.
No, you're way off. I mean, you aren't in some ways, right? So technically the box does assist in generating tones, and its electronics are more, probably closer to a solid state amp than they would, or a tube amp than they would be, say, a computer. But playing an instrument is way different than if you had an electrical skill, then I would totally let you roll it.
That makes sense. I wanted to do my best. The manual doesn't tell us anything?
It does. It's just that the person that has been using the manual, or this person who's using the bonus with the manual, has struggled mightily.
Well, doesn't that mean we could still use the manual? Or is the manual also in pieces?
No, you could use the manual, sure, but here's the thing, right? The manual gives you a bonus to Sig Int. You don't have Sig Int, and so you can't obtain a bonus to a skill you don't have. And I'm sort of giving Winters the option at a heavy penalty because his computers is so high. It's what, 70?
It's 70, yeah. That's all I was doing. So I'm picturing, we've been huddled over this damn thing for 6-7 hours. It's probably coming up on dawn. Nothing's working out. I'm going to take a look. I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I did that machine language course one semester, and I do remember we did have to program out our little compiler computer, and there's a little aspect of it. Let me take a look at it, and I'm gonna try at a -20 a computer science to get something, and I rolled an 18.
Okay. So 70 with a penalty for a broken device and then a penalty for being pretty far out of school. You still make the roll. All right. So with an 18, Winters, you have to do a couple of things. One of them involves duct tape. So the damage done to the box is fairly considerable. Like when you actually read the manual from, we'll just say a military point of view, probably parsed through some kid on the internet. The box has to be heavily reinforced and taped because part of the PCB itself is actually broken. But you do that, and then you flip the box on its side and you plug in the phone cable, and then you plug in the telephone receiver to the other side of the box, and then you hang the receiver up. And then you test it with a phone. You call the house, and when it calls, the standard receiver, the standard phone, rotary phone rings. And when it does, when that bell goes off, this box lights up, and you see these two little wheels begin. And there's a tiny light that turns on, little amber light that turns on right under the record button. And when you press it, you can hear the echo. You can sort of hear yourself in your cell phone, or you hear Bojangles, heavy breathing or whatever it is, or whoever's helping you assist testing the audio setup on the other end of the phone. You can hear them through this device.
Oh, look. I think we got something. It's just like that coupler modem that Broderick had in that War Games movie. That's why I look familiar, Weber. Look, you can hear. Listen, you can hear the echo of us.
From a movie?
Well, no. That's just what gave me the idea
Okay.
of how to set it up. I think we got something here. I think we can do something with this.
Yeah, in effect, the way this functions, as far as you can tell, is incoming signal comes in to the box. The device prepares to record what's being said. You press record, and then you can listen at the same time it's being recorded. So it's somewhat similar to the fashion of an acoustic coupler, but it's a little bit before that. And it looks like there are, in the bag here, there are a couple of different tape wheels because it's literally on tape.
All right, but I'm seeing there's good news and bad, y'all. Now, the good news is I think we have a way to record, but the bad I don't know if y'all see something different. I feel like we got to be in the place, or someone's got to be in the place to actually manipulate this thing to record. I don't think we can be able to do this remote in ABC unless I'm not seeing something. Man, I mean, someone's got to press this record button, right? Well, wait, maybe it only records if there's a conversation. Okay, just set it up, have it record, hang up. Is it spinning? Is the wheel spinning?
So you learn fairly quickly, Elliot, that if there's no conversation going on, the unit doesn't record anything. The other bags that are in here of audio tech are a little bit more modern, and what some of them look like they're just phone taps. So they're little boxes that probably work in concert with a phone. You probably plug one into the back of a phone and plug the phone line into it, and then you'd get a chance to create some sort of incoming call based on that. So that might be a situation where Lynn would have to plant them and then come back days later and retrieve them to pull that sort of recorded data out.
All right, I feel like we're going to have to give that girl some really intense instructions here. She's going to have to set this up. She's going to have to come back and maintain, maybe swap a tape. She's going to have to come back and retrieve them all. She for sure cannot leave one there. She can't forget one because someone's going to find it. They are fairly obvious if anyone moves an office or something like that. Okay. All right, but I think we got something we can work with here. Something. Is there anything else in this box anyone see that's useful?
At the bottom of the box, there is a couple of testing kits. They know that ABC is a chemical company, and so there are some chemical testing equipment here. That would be something that you'd be aware of, Weber, at least by the look of it.
Which we did a little bit of chemical testing on the dog head too, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll all be useful. I don't think we can put so much of this on Lynn. Do you think they're hiring? We could just get jobs there?
Wouldn't that be a thing? If we could go in as a contract janitorial staff, I think they are probably too high security to fall for something that basic.
Well, I have a bad idea.
Proceed.
We don't know if they're not hiring for a chemist, Weber.
That's a good point.
And, you mentioned that you are defamed, but they don't have to know that. If they need a point of reference, they could call one of us, and we would pretend to be a former boss. Yeah.
Chemist. Well, I did work for the government, so that makes sense because they maybe didn't know my job really.
But essentially, we would be your vouch instead of where you worked before.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they got government contracts, I wonder Brett, I wonder if you could maybe pull a string to get Weber that interview.
I probably could.
Look, hiring is usually like a 30-day process, unless it's a government hiring, and then it's at best a 100-day process.
We ain't looking to get hired. We're just looking for an interview. We're just looking for an invitation to the place.
To get in.
Yeah.
Like a famed PhD chemist just ends up in Montana.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Go for it if you think it's a good idea.
Maybe Crisp can interview me.
Oh, that's such a bad plan.
Oh my god, maybe I could find Crisp. And I can look on, like, the office registry or the map. And maybe I could find his office.
So we're still 50-50. Is Crisp in on it, or is Crisp hating it? If Crisp hates it, we make contact with Crisp. Maybe he is able to finagle an interview, a conversation, and invite to the. Especially if a high rank and hard or Brett maybe vouch, whatever. Like, that feels like a caper that we would have run 10 years ago, and different life for me.
I was thinking just about sending the three of you guys in at night to rob the place and burn some stuff while I sit about 100 yards away with a sniper rifle. But I mean, we could do either. Either is good.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm warming up to this plan more and more.
Okay.
We went through the whole exercise of getting a bunch of fancy tech. I feel like we have to in some way try to use it
as a backup too. I mean, one of you guys, I feel like it's faster to get hired as janitorial staff. So Winters, like I said, I think you look real nice in a uniform.
Weber, I have been a janitor.
You have experience then you can put on your application.
Yeah, it don't really work that way, but yeah, for sure.
So what time in the morning is it now after we're all, making poor decisions from being delirious with not enough sleep?
It is pretty late. It's probably 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Oh, 2 a.m.? That's nothing. But this does feel like the sleepover has hit that 5 a.m. and we're still talking about our life plans.
Yeah.
So do we try to make contact with Chris before? Because then if he knows what's going on, he could get us in. Like, that's an option. Or we seek out Crisp while I'm there and I'm on the radio or some sort of phone device with you guys and you tell me what to do.
Maybe we take a beat and sleep and see if the plan still sounds good in the morning.
Guys, I loved that plan.
Okay. I mean, the look over at the clock goes probably from 2 o'clock, until then it's 3:15 a.m. As all these little ideas begin to bubble out, the different ways you could do things. And you have some gear now, so that helps. Is it possible that you could roll up and, maybe ask somebody from the local spaces here how people get jobs there? Sure. Is that a method that you want to try to use to at least get in the plant and then get walked around? Definitely worth a try as an option. But yeah, I'm happy to let you explore it.
I was just going to call in the morning and see if they had any job openings. I wasn't even going to worry about going to town and finding out. Just be like, hi, have any job openings? Not quite that casual and cavalier, but something akin to that.
Mm-hmm. You getting sleep therein, between that space, or?
Oh yeah, no. I imagine I'm the friend who tries very hard to stay awake and then passes out at 3:45.
Yeah, that's totally you. Okay, so you get a little shut eye. Anybody purposely trying to stay awake to do something crazy, or are we all going to bed?
I mean, I need a nap. I'm pretty tired. Bojangles, I will try to shove over to his side of the bed, and then I'll crawl in around him, as one does, Big Spoon style. You just take what space you can get in the bed with the dog.
Okay. You doss down, the lot of you, Bojangles included. You do get a few shimmies and shakes out of the box before you go to bed. Age of Winters, it does seem to... Maybe it misses you? You're not sure.
I will quietly open that box a couple times and just reach my fingers in and give him a little pat on that fun little area at the top of where the forehead goes into the nose, and you just sort of get a little bit about that.
The dog does seem to appreciate it. It's hard to look past all of the different bullet holes that it has in it, but that little space there on the front of its face and nose is still unblemished, still got that soft German Shepherd fur. And for my money, that makes a good day. So next time when we pick up with our agents, we're going to see about getting ourselves a job. At least one of us. And then maybe we'll hear back from Lynn after her night at work. I can't wait. So thank you so much for listening. We greatly appreciate that and your support. And we look forward to seeing you next time.